what the hell's happening in Chicago? Because I would just love to hear your take on it. We're sitting here talking about Caleb Williams, the turnover, the offensive line, et cetera, new offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think they set themselves up for failure. Even though you get Caleb Williams, you still had Matt Eberflus. And it's like a substitute teacher. I just don't know if you can respect that guy if management doesn't respect that guy or ownership doesn't. He's a defensive-minded coach. Do you have the right guy in there? Should you have gotten somebody else in there? Should you have gotten maybe somebody's college coach in there to help Caleb? I don't think it's a lost cause, but I think it's a lost cause for Matt Eberflus. And I think if you're going to have a quarterback and put him in there, the first thing I want to know is, how's the offensive line? Then I want to know, do I have consistency at the head coach and the offensive coordinator? Then I want to know what kind of weapons I'm going to have. So Caleb went in, and it felt like he was in the best situation a number one overall pick quarterback has ever been in. I thought they were a 9-win team this year. But, you know, he's playing like he's at USC. But he has to, I think, because the offensive line isn't good. You get into bad habits, and it's just a recipe for disaster. And if you look at what happened after that Hail Mary pass with Jaden Daniels, they were plus 50 point differential. Jaden Daniels throws the pass. They're now minus 42 point differential. And now you got the toughest part of their schedule. Mm-hmm. They'll be lucky to win maybe 2 more games. But I do think of all the jobs that are going to be open, that to me is the attractive job because of Caleb Williams. And I do think that you get somebody in there, maybe an offensive-minded guy, and maybe Ben Johnson just says, hey, let me win the Super Bowl, and then I'll come over and be your head coach and maybe solve all your problems.
Why do you think they didn't bring in Cliff Kingsbury? I mean, it would have made perfect sense.
Well, I think that question should be asked again if somebody is willing to stand up and say, you know, this is why we went with, you know, Shane Waldron. But you're trying to make the transition from college to the pros as easy as possible. Cliff is a former quarterback. Now, granted, he wasn't, you know, a great quarterback, but you're going to help that person make the transition. You want to have you want familiarity. You want the same language. You want to know when to talk to somebody, when not, when to be tough on somebody, when not. That's what surprised me the most. You don't want to treat them, you know, like they're delicate, but you also want to, you know, it's such a tough transition. And I don't care how good you are. C.J. Stroud has regressed this year. Like it humbles you more than any other position in all of sports. Every player who's played that position gets humbled at some point. And they're all great in college. I want to know what happens to you when you throw a pick six. I want to know when you get sacked. I want to know when you are getting helped up by your offensive lineman. That's, to me, the true test of who your quarterback is. I got to get somebody who at least has got a track record, a larger sample size. And I thought the Bears, that's malfeasance on their part.
You just have to wonder if it was something that Eberflus didn't want to have either a temporary fix at OC, a potential better head coach than him.
Well, I think it's that. I do. I think, you know, he's a lame duck. If you wanted him, sign him up. If you want Mike McCarthy, sign him up. If you don't, then you're telling everybody, you know, this is going to be a change. You know, what are you going to do that's different? Oh, you're going to win 7 games, 8 games. We're keeping you. I just think if you really believed in Matt Eberflus, you would have extended him. And they didn't. And therefore, change is inevitable.
Check out new episodes of What the Football with Suzy Shuster and Amy Trask every Tuesday. Watch us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page or follow and listen wherever you get your podcasts.